This week, Ubisoft cancels more games and delays another while Microsoft announces a developer direct and the PS5 shortage is over. Welcome to the NerdCave News. I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined along with the finest baker of cakes and pastries in all of France. His buttery croissant will literally make you dance. It's Monsieur Jean-Jacques Ducateau.
Oh, very fancy and on point because I do like my cakes and pastries. After always when I'm on lunch, doesn't matter what I get, I always have to get something from the bakery because that's just how I roll. That's just who I am, the sweet connoisseur. So, very well. And guys, I feel I'll go ahead and throw this out here. One of the things we will be doing, because I keep saying it. I told Zach in our meeting. I kept saying all last year that I like the names, and it was like, oh, this is top of the list, or this is mid tier type of thing, and but I always kept saying it, but I never did anything about it.
Yeah, you didn't do nothing.
No,
nothing.
I did a whole lot of this and none of this. A lot of talking, but no action. Yeah. This year it's going to change because I'm going to create. I had to remind myself when we went live, I'm like, let me create this other doc. And I'm going to keep track of the names. Obviously, this is the first one of this year, so it's going to be number one. But over the course of the weeks, months, and weeks and months, I almost said years, but weeks and
the
months,
years,
yeah. I'm going to create a list, and obviously, like I said, first one, it's going to be number one. But next week, Zach and I are going to have a discussion about, and you guys can be involved too, of where it's going to fall. Is it going to be above the first one, or is it going to be below it? And we'll just do that every week. We're going to go through and rank my actual names. So that way, come this time, end of December, when we're having our year in review, we can look back at the top names and look at how great everyone's creativity is. So, without a doubt, let us continue.
And Amy said gâteau is also the French word for cake. So your last name is literally cake. And she has accepted your name challenge because Amy is like the reigning champion of names.
She is.
And if you want to submit your name for Derek, we've got a form. It's in the description. Go submit your name for Derek. Yours might be chosen to be on one of the episodes. I'd love to see more people putting names in there. Can you be more creative? I don't know. Amy's pretty creative. I'm just saying.
She is. What if we come to the end of the year and the top 5 names are all Amy? It's like, all right, Amy wins.
If Amy wins, I'll take her out to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
I'll take her out to a nice dinner.
There you go.
Derek will pay for the dinner, but I'll take her.
Hold up. Rewind.
We can't rewind, Derek. This is the present. This is the future, because this is the NerdCave News, where each and every week we run you through all the video game news that you need to know. You can watch us live over on youtube.com/nerdcave every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. You can make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so you don't miss out on anything, and you help more people see the show. You can also check out the podcast version that will be available on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and Anchor. Go subscribe and listen to it each and every week. While you're there, leave us a 5-star rating because you're beautiful.
No less, though. You can't leave no less than a 5-star review.
No, you can't.
Now, Zach, I do have a question regarding that. Yeah. We always say they can't leave less than a 5-star review. And I know most review sites can't go above a 5-star. But what if people left us a 6-star review? Would we do anything extra for them, like special, or no?
Derek will take you out to a nice dinner.
And by nice dinner, I mean Five Guys or Chick-fil-A.
Hey, man, Five Guys is expensive. That's a nice dinner.
You're right.
Oh, man.
You have to put a cap on that bad boy.
Yeah. Somebody owes me Five Guys.
Listen, we're going to work it out. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, guys. We're going to have to break Derek's legs and bring him down here.
Listen, I'm the one who does the crippling.
This episode is brought to you by the Epic Game Store and our wonderful Patreons. You can support us by using our creator code NerdCave at checkout in the Epic Games Store. Even on free games, it helps us out. Get those V-Bucks, get those Sony games with our creator code, and you can be epic just like our first mate, Brandon Hicks. He went over to patreon.com/NerdCave. He went over there and supported us. Just like the rest of our wonderful patrons, our helmsman, the conductor, our gunners, Daniel Sefford, Rushing Waters Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany, the Granny B. Harrison, and our deckhand, Martin Sager. Guys, you can go check us out. Go support us over there. It helps us out a ton. It keeps the lights on, and it helps pay for our editor. It helps pay for any special thumbnails we make, all those good things, all the graphic design stuff that we do here. And, it might even pay for Derek to move to Florida.
Money talks.
Money, money, money. Money. Speaking of money, let's get into this gaming discussion this week.
Yeah.
Ubisoft Star Wars games reportedly features a fully open, seamless universe.
So a new report from Insider Gaming has revealed that the upcoming Star Wars game will enable gamers to traverse multiple systems and uncover a galaxy brimming with entertainment. Players can create unique characters, allowing them to dive into an expansive narrative built on decades of lore, weapons, locations, and characters. With so much material at their disposal, Massive Entertainment is confident this experience will be nothing short of extraordinary for all involved. Henderson believes the game scale could be on par with Starfield. Ubisoft's Julian Garrity shared his vision for the project. We are striving to create a distinctive experience within this epic saga that has lovable characters, an inspiring story, and relatable elements from all of our beloved Star Wars universe. Our aim is to enjoy familiar themes while also introducing fresh protagonists and their own individual objectives with struggles. Now, it begs the question because, Massive Entertainment, what are they known for? The Division. One and two. That's the only series they've done.
Yeah.
When I read fully open, seamless universe,
I don't think the Division.
Well, okay. Well, no, you're right. But my question to you, Zach, is do you feel this is going to be more in line with how the Division is set up with its gameplay mechanics and format and how, because seamless universe screams MMO to me. So does this scream more Division or does this scream more Mass Effect to you?
It screams live service.
Obviously, that's
screams like
Ubisoft's
Destiny.
new hot topic right now.
It screams Destiny to me more than the other ones. So it's sort of MMO light. I don't think we'll get super into the weeds because MMOs, other than Final Fantasy 14, there really isn't an MMO. New World has done okay for itself, but there are no MMOs that have really just jumped out there and done really well. Like Dragonflight just launched for World of Warcraft back in December and everything, and it's done pretty well. But MMOs have a really hard time of attracting new players that are not already MMOs players and everything. So I think doing it more of a Destiny style where it's live service, but it's not as the systems might not be as deep as a normal MMO. I think it'd be fine. And I don't want it to be like the Division because the Division was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. So I definitely want to see what they can do and if it actually will come out.
Yeah, because as our next story details, there's some troubled waters for Ubisoft. So we'll see if they can get a Star Wars game out, but the others, TBD.
Yeah. Ubisoft cancels 3 unannounced games and I called it on the last.
You did actually. Now that you say that.
I called it, baby. Skull and Bones has been delayed yet again.
And Murdoch, I'm sure you're lurking in the chat somewhere and about to make your first appearance of the year. So we hold on to your butts. The company acknowledges the difficulty of achieving success in an industry that is increasingly dominated by large, internationally recognized brands. Over the past 4 years, it has been working to develop live games with extended shelf life, as well as adapting its best franchises, like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy titles such as Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and The Division, to fit current trends so they become truly global sensations. Despite the fact that the games from this investment phase have yet to be released, our most recent launches were not as successful as we had hoped. Moreover, macroeconomic conditions continue to worsen, and holiday season trends in December and January so far have been shockingly slower than anticipated. In light of the current climate, we have conducted a full review of our revenue and become more cautious for years to come. With added investments due to lockdown as well as new trends in production through the last 3 years, Ubisoft is taking action today by implementing measures that will improve long term growth opportunities and create value. Ubisoft has canceled 3 unnamed titles in addition to the 4th previously announced ones back in July 2022. These include Ghost Recon Frontline, Splinter Cell VR, and 2 other undisclosed projects. Moreover, Skull and Bones is delayed for a 5th time to 2023 to 2024 fiscal year. However, players will have access to its beta version soon. Ubisoft states that the game requires extra fine-tuning, which necessitated its latest delay. Through additional development time, we have seen a remarkable improvement in the quality of our game that has been confirmed by recent playtests. We are confident players will be excited to experience its evolution. In order to present a more refined and balanced gameplay as well as reach wider audiences, we have decided to delay its release for now. According to Ubisoft's financial report, the company has decided to lower its Q3 2022 to 2023 net booking goal from approximately 892 million down to 779 million. This is attributed mainly to an increasingly competitive environment where major releases like Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023 have not met their projected sales goals.
Okay. Let's kind of break this down.
Yeah.
Ubisoft is in a very weird position where they have milked their franchises for years without necessarily iterating a lot on them. I'm looking at Siege, Assassin's Creed. Like, yes, we've seen iterations, like going from Syndicate to Origins was huge, but then we got Odyssey, which I know a lot of people loved Odyssey, but it was more of Origins, and then we got Valhalla, and I feel like more people kind of was like, do I really need to play Valhalla? And they went off of it. Far Cry, same thing. I haven't played a Far Cry in years because it's like more of the same. It's not something I want. You know what I'd love to see? Flipping Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell.
Well, you got a VR Splinter Cell coming.
I thought they canceled the VR Splinter Cell.
Oh yeah, they did. I'm sorry.
It's the remake. It's the remake for Splinter Cell that's coming out. But,
okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But Ubisoft is disappointed when they literally only put 2 games out last year that I remember, which is Just Dance and Mario plus Rabbids.
Well, there was Extraction. Well, no, that was part of their 2021-2022 fiscal year. So yeah. If you're going by this fiscal year, Sparks of Hope and Just Dance. I feel like there was another one in there somewhere, but it's no bueno. It was
and they're upset that they didn't hit, these lofty goals and everything. And Mario plus Rabbids, the first game, you did really well, but I don't remember a ton of marketing around Sparks of Hope. There was I don't remember it being in front of me.
There was a push in the week before, but that was about it.
Yeah, and that's not enough. You've got to really work on that. And Just Dance, it's that's a very niche market.
Yeah.
I know it does well because they've been making them for years, but seriously, you know what I mean? And then Skull and Bones being delayed again. I'm glad that they're not just rushing it out there to get money, But
at this point, do you think it's been delayed 5-6 times? At this point, do you think they should? Do you think it's? You think? I mean, obviously, I think we when we discussed it the last time it was delayed, we have no hope that it's going to be good at all. Maybe it surprises us, but we have no hope that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Do you think they missed the mark and are just holding because they've promised the investors this game for so long that they just pretty much have to get it out? Do you think they missed the opportunity to just say, you know what, we should have canceled it?
I think we should have canceled it happened a long time ago. like after the last delay into
Yeah.
this year, I think that would have been their position where they could have canceled it. The last, like, that was, you know, pun intended, but the ship's already out of the dock.
Yeah.
The train's already out of the station on this one. So it's like, okay, we've got to delay it long enough so we can just fix this mess.
Yep.
And that's where
Bless
we're at.
this mess.
Yeah. And I we say it every time. It's like I'd rather have a game delayed and it be good than a game come out earlier and it be bad. This game, I'm just calling it, guys. I called that it was going to get delayed at our last episode. This game is going to be awful. This game is just going to be just straight up doo-doo sauce.
It's going to make the launch of Sea of Thieves look like, a great launch.
Yeah, and like Sea of Thieves is at least playable. Well, actually, no, it had its connectivity issues and everything, but this is not going to go well, guys. I'm gonna just tell you, if you are holding out hope for this, just give it to Davy Jones' locker and be done with it.
Yeah, keep it at the bottom of the ocean.
The last thing I want to say about Ubisoft before we move into Xbox news, there was a email sent out by Guillermo, whatever.
Guillermo, yeah.
Pretty much telling everybody, hey, cut everything to the bone. We're going to be running really lean, and it is up to you to make this all work. And that right there was like, you can go look up the email. It's all over all the different sites and everything. That from your CEO that has chosen to keep people on the payroll, high up on the payroll, that have done some bad and shady things, and then telling your employees, hey, it's either sink or swim. It's up to you to make this game's lineup happen. And the people that have left, we're not going to replace them to help you out. So
great.
There are people that have left Ubisoft and they have still not replaced them, like on development teams and everything, because they're cutting costs. So like this is some weird stuff going on, and I would not blame any developer, anybody that's working at Ubisoft that was just like, I'm out, dog.
Yeah. About to say, all right, you must say it's up to me. Well, I'm out, dog.
Yeah, I would be just peace out, A-Town down. You know what I mean? Like I would just, I'd be gone in a heartbeat, baby. I'd be gone in a heartbeat. But hopefully, maybe they'll get a better CEO, because Yves is anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to.
He used to be really good, but not anymore.
Not anymore. But let's go to where a CEO knows what he's doing. Let's talk about some Xbox.
What?
Xbox.
The Sony ponies are talking about Xbox for the first of the year?
Maybe this is a new leaf we're turning over. Maybe we're Xbox socks. I don't know. I don't know what an Xbox lover is called. Sony Pony just works.
Xbot.
Oh, an Xbot. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct coming January 25th at 2 p.m. Central.
Yeah, so it's ironic. When you think of beginning of the year, you think, all right, Sony usually does something, Nintendo usually does something, and everyone, like us included, when we talked about when we watched the Game Awards, Xbox was nowhere to be found. We speculated, we hoped, we had our ideas, nothing happened. And Xbox is like, we got you, dog. You just got to be patient. Microsoft and Bethesda have just announced the Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct, a thrilling new games event that will give fans an exclusive look into upcoming titles for Xbox, PC, and Game Pass in the coming months. Mark your calendars for January 25th, as the Xbox Developer Direct will be airing. Studios such as Arcane Austin, Mojang, Turn 10, and ZeniMax Online are sure to bring us an evening of gameplay showcases from an array of upcoming titles, including The Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport 7, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. Though you may have noticed a glaring absence, Starfield. Fear not, because Xbox has already confirmed that they'll be hosting a standalone show to give fans the opportunity for an in-depth look into this highly anticipated game. Xbox has revealed that what players can expect from each game. ZeniMax Online Studios will show off 2023's major update for The Elder Scrolls Online, complete with a, quote, chapter reveal event. This event will highlight new regions of Tamriel that are playable in the ESO and other major features included in this year's largest update so far. As for Forza Motorsport fans, Turn 10 Studios have prepared even more gameplay footage, as well as additional information about the game to share. Get ready to explore the world of Minecraft Legends, as Mojang Studios will be giving us a sneak peek into their upcoming PvP multiplayer experience. Furthermore, Arcane Austin is set to provide an in-depth look at Redfall with both single-player and multiplayer gameplay clips. We can expect all sorts of exciting info about combat customization, bosses, open worlds, and more from Xbox's showcase. Get hyped for what's coming next.
This was kind of a shock, to see this coming out and everything, but
yeah,
I'm glad Microsoft is not just sitting around and just like, okay, maybe if we don't say anything, we don't move.
Yeah.
We don't look anybody in the eye. No one will ask us where the games are.
Yeah, exactly.
know,
it's like, the reverse of Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. If you don't talk about it, no one expects anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that they said something about Starfield, because that would have been the main question. If they would have omitted it, that would have been, where's Starfield? Where's Starfield?
Yeah.
So saying that lets us focus on what actually is going to be here, and saying it, because there's a lot of speculation. Oh, well, they'll do this, they'll do this.
Yeah.
Knowing what's there and what we're going to be getting is exciting, because ZeniMax has done an awesome job with the ESO.
Oh, yeah.
They're continually putting out. It's still going, which I never thought it would be, but hey, it's still there.
Well, it's like when they got rid of the paid monthly subscription model, it did a lot better for fans.
Yeah, exactly, because people want to just play games. Minecraft Legends is a little interesting as well, because that came out like 2 years ago.
No. You're thinking of Dungeons. Legends is that new.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So seeing that, I'm glad we're getting more of that. And then Forza, getting to see that. But I think the big one here is Redfall. I think getting to see what Redfall actually is. And I think what we have seen has been more like, it feels like Dying Light, Left 4 Dead.
Deathloop makes Left 4 Dead or Dying Light, whichever, whatever zombie game you want.
But I was listening to Kind of Funny earlier today, and Stella from IGN was on there, and she was saying that they were talking about that it's not necessarily like Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead, that it's more Destiny like.
Ooh.
Like looter shooter, and I'm like, okay, everything that they've shown is not even shown any of that. So, seeing more of that would be good.
More to Borderlands then, if that's the case.
But like the 4-play, having multiple people on there, which I guess is kind of Borderlands, because you could do co-op and everything. But like, it's definitely felt more like Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead, the way they've done everything so far. So hopefully we'll be able to see more cool things, getting to see all of it in depth and all of that. So that is later this month, January 25th. So definitely check it out, guys. But let's move into.
Well, I had one question real quick.
Okay.
Well, one involving Starfield, one involving the showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Do you now? Because they put themselves in a hole by saying in June that all the games that they were shown were coming out over the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you be disappointed if we did not get release dates for at least majority of these titles? Like Redfall and Forza have to be the mainstays. And my other question is Starfield is, are you worried that because, like, yes, it is a huge game with ambition, do you worry at all that it's going to be delayed?
To your first, I think all of these games that are going to be at this developer_direct, they will all get dates, and they will be within like the first half of the year, I feel like. And then Starfield, I think, will be the fall game for Xbox.
Oh, okay. So delay indefinitely. Got it.
Have they given a date?
No, but it was included in that first half or within the next 12 months. So it has to come out by June according to their logic.
But they delayed it after that, right?
No, it was supposed to be back in this past November, and that's
Mm.
at the June showcase is when they confirmed it was delayed.
But when did they say the 12 months thing? Was that after the
At the
delay?
show. Yeah, it was like no, I think they delayed it before the showcase, but then they said, all right, now it's going to come out within those 12-month period.
Yeah, I feel like they don't hold to that,
Yeah,
because Phil is gonna put out a better game than just like,
yeah.
oh, we gotta hold to this 12-month. It's like, no, that's stupid. You know what I mean? It's like,
Phil's going to be like, don't you put out a buggy game?
yeah, it's like we're no Bethesda, and he's like, oh, sorry guys.
No offense.
But yeah, I think we get into the fall. I really do.
Okay.
It'd be the perfect timing too. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it come out, you got the fall, like yeah, you'll be going up against Spider-Man 2, but like that's two different types of gamers. Let's just
Yeah,
be honest. So
exactly.
yeah, let's just see it in the fall.
Yeah.
And if they do release it in the fall, you want to make a wager?
No. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So no. I'm not doing that again.
I would have done something a little bit cheaper. I'd be like, you could buy me like, some chicken tenders and fries from Publix or something like that. But
Nah.
if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, baby. Get
Well,
out the
guess
kitchen.
what? I'm leaping all the way out the kitchen. So
Let's leap into some PlayStation news, PlayStation tech and business news to be exact. Sony reveals Project Leonardo, a new accessibility kit for the PlayStation 5.
So at Sony's 2023 CES presentation, we were introduced to the groundbreaking Project Leonardo, a customizable controller kit tailored for PS5 players with accessibility needs. In a PlayStation blog post, Senior Vice President Hideaki Nishino details Sony's ambitious mission to make gaming truly accessible for everyone. Quote, at PlayStation, accessibility is of the utmost importance. Uh, we want every player to experience the thrilling joys that come with playing video games, and we are determined to do whatever it takes to achieve this goal. With CES 2023 revealing Sony's potential hardware breakthrough that they may finally be able to take their commitment into full fruition. Project Leonardo has been developed by leveraging conversations with well-known gaming groups such as Special Effect, Able Gamers, and StackUp to ensure the device meets all of its design goals. According to Nishino, this integrated controller is specifically tailored towards gamers limited in motor control who may struggle holding a standard controller for long periods or accurately pressing small clusters of buttons/triggers. With Project Leonardo, players can position their thumbs and fingers optimally during gameplay without difficulty. Customize your gaming experience with Project Leonardo, whether you prefer using two Leonardo controllers or a DualSense controller. This powerful tool allows players to create the ultimate controller that suits their exact needs. Unleash unprecedented control and potential wins now. Despite being in its formative stage, Sony is actively collecting input from the gaming community to further perfect the controller. According to Nishino, garnering feedback remains a priority as they refine their design. Um, I I like the project name, like whether what's going to be called actually TBD, but I like the project name. Leonardo just sounds cool. It reminds me of TMNT.
Well, Leonardo was like an inventor. He
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
just a
that's
ninja.
true.
Derek's like, oh yeah, that guy. I
Yeah.
just know he was a turtle.
Well, that's where my line goes. And well, it doesn't help that the controller is shaped like a shell.
My
You know what I mean?
God. Yeah, the turtle. That's who's a famous one.
Yeah, turtle.
Oh Lord.
But the design is interesting because it looks like a saucer plate, but I know there's going to be rhyme and reason to why they designed it that way. And I watched the reveal video technically, but it was mainly just developer speak. They really didn't go into like all the ins and outs of what the controller does. Like I know they can do it later, but it's like it's interesting that you would showcase this as your primary tech thing, and then not go into at least some of the features, like some of the ideas that you have for it. But it's cool that they finally have this out. It's sort of like we have the beatbox speaker now. It's going to be, and then with the Xbox accessibility controller, and now we have the turtle shell with PlayStation, but I'm glad they're finally getting to the accessibility game.
Yeah.
Price point is also good. I feel like it's going to be high, just like the
Oh yeah.
not obviously in the PSVR 2 realm, but because the Xbox I think is only $100 for its
Yeah,
accessibility
it's
controller.
$99.
I feel like this is going to be a smooth $150 to $200 when it launches.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that like with Xbox's accessibility controller, it's a much more like simple.
Right.
With this, it seems very complex.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tech in there. But yeah, like to your point, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm glad that Sony is getting into this, that they are
Yeah.
doing something for accessibility, that more people will be able to play, that they're not having to really make these specialty rigs and everything just so someone can game. I'm glad
Yeah.
that the corporations that are doing something are actually doing this. Question for you, real quick.
Mhm.
Do you think Nintendo does something similar down the road? Do they make something that's more accessible friendly?
At one point you could, it's easy to say they have to, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, all right, two of the three major players are already in this game, we need to as well. At the But also I feel like Nintendo, like, first of all, they have to make those switch buttons bigger, because it's like they have like controllers are
Baby
for
buttons
babies. Yeah, exactly, the baby buttons.
and the drift.
Exactly. So they could say, "Oh, well, our accessibility is taking the game with you on the go," but I don't feel like they're going to be jerks about it. However, I feel like, because we talked about it at one of our last shows at the end of last year, that we feel like the Switch's hardware, like the power of it, is waning, and it's about time for new hardware. I feel like it'll come after, if it's true and they do new hardware either this year or at least announce it this year. They'll wait till probably 6 to 8 months or 6 to 12 months after the new hardware is out before they do anything accessibility wise. Now, I could be wrong, and they could
Yeah.
just do it, but the problem is, it's like, do they do accessibility with the Switch, or do they wait and save it for their new hardware?
Yeah, and the numbers on the Switch just in Japan
Yeah.
this week is over 100,000 sales on the
Woo!
OLED. On the OLED, that's not counting
Yeah.
like the regular Switch.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's sort of like GTA. Who doesn't have one by now?
Yeah, so I think Nintendo's just like, hey man, we just gonna let this roll, baby.
Right, about to say, we printing money at this point.
Let's talk about some PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 has crossed 30 million consoles sold as of December 2022, the biggest month ever for sales. And let's talk about the shortage as well. Let's combine these two. The PlayStation 5 shortage is now over, according to Sony's Jim Ryan.
So for the 30 million, Ryan attributed the surge in production to Sony's ability to manage, quote, unprecedented demand for the console. According to his statement, astonishingly, it was revealed that that PS5 had sold 25 million units by November of last year, and an additional 5 million throughout 2022's holiday season. As far as the shortage, during CES, the executive declared that from this point on, finding a PS5 would be much more accessible for everyone at retailers worldwide. That's pound for pound. Like, he wanted to stack the good news. Obviously, he's like, all right, 30 million, 5 million in 1 month alone. And guess what, guys? You can find it easier now, so our sales numbers can skyrocket even more. I do know, for Black Friday, my former boss at my old job texted me, and he's like, yeah, I got the Great Wall of PS5s, because he got so many, he literally had to stack them up like almost to the ceiling in his back room.
Wow.
So the shortage is to be believed. Now, can some, like, and I don't mean to make this sound bad, will every town that has retail stores be able to get PS5s easily? Probably not yet. Probably they'll have to wait a little longer. But will most major, can you walk into any Walmart in pretty much almost every big city and find one? Or at least some, can you walk into the Troy Walmart and find one? Probably so. It'll be a lot easier than basically and now I love it, and I'm going to cherish it, because now the scalpers can go away and wallow in the debt they created.
Yeah, exactly. And, just because I heard the numbers before I did the show, In Japan, you want to know how many PlayStations sold this week? PlayStation 5s?
How many?
75,000 just in Japan.
What?
That's the disc version, and then they sold like 9,000 more on the digital version.
Wow.
So like over 80,000 just in Japan this week that were sold.
Now, a question for you on the shortage, right? So now they'll be more accessible from this point forward.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I know my former company, there was one point where we did the online bundles and they did include digital ones, but the ones in stores have been all disc versions. Like the only time you saw digital in store was if you pre-ordered one in stores and you haven't seen one in the wild since. Do you think when we start seeing them in more stores, it'll be just the disc, or do you think we'll see some digital sprinkled here and there?
I think we see disc. I think that the like $100 difference, it's probably not that much on a PlayStation side to put the disc in there. And it makes them more money. You know what I mean? It probably costs them like $10 more to put the disc on there, and then they make, $90 more off of you. So like, I'm just saying point. Like we'll see a slew of disc versions and very few digital. And I think people would rather just get the disc version just in case, at this point.
Yeah. So, but 30 million. Now, granted, they say it's keeping pace with the PS4, but this is its fourth year, 2020, 21, 22. Yeah, it's entering in its fourth year of the life cycle.
It doesn't even feel like that because like, I couldn't even get one when it first came out. So it doesn't, in my mind, it's like it didn't really start, but yeah, I know it started.
Yeah, exactly. Well, according to some people, PS4 and Xbox One are still current gen. But anyway, how much do you think, if this is to be believed with the shortage, how much do you think this will skyrocket their sales? Like, what? I don't want to bet anything, obviously, but I do want to put a number. By the end of 2023, how much do you think it will be at least double their sales?
Well, dude, literally, like I'm just saying, like Japan this week, like over 80,000. Last week was around that number as well. Like they're already like almost at 200,000, consoles sold within the few weeks that January's started.
Yeah, good point.
For me, dude, I'm gonna say this. We're not betting here because you don't bet anymore. Because you're afraid. I'm gonna say 75 million.
Really?
75 million. Yeah.
Wow.
This year.
Okay. Woo.
Because everybody's wanted one.
Yeah.
And now they can get them.
Shortage. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I say a smooth. I think it'll be double just because it's like the PS4 didn't. Now, granted, it was coming off the PS3 debacle.
Yeah.
But it took about 4 or 5 years for it to hit 100 million. So I think a smooth 60 million in total sales at the end of the year is feasible. Like I think 75 million is attainable, but I think 60 million will be more realistic just because with the state of everything else going up, like with eggs being like $9 a pop or $9 a carton, I think some people will still have some financial. It's funny, when people had money, you couldn't find one. And now that they have them, people are going to are penny pinching because they have to eat rather than have a PlayStation 5. So I think 60 million is going to be more attainable. I mean, the 5 million sold in a month, granted it was prime holiday season, but 5 million is ridiculous. So I mean, we both agree that it's at least going to double in sales by the end of the year.
Easily.
So
it's going to double at least and ship 90 million.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Let's move on. Let's talk about that Jim Ryan dude. PlayStation bigwig Jim Ryan named among the 500 most influential global media business leaders.
So Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, was recently honored by Variety in their compilation of the 500 most influential business leaders shaping the global media industry. Not only is he is he on the list for 2020 and 2021, but his remarkable accomplishments have set him apart from others. Just this past year, his acquisition of Destiny 2 developer Bungie has made waves throughout media platforms. Sony has continued to strategically invest in key companies, including acquiring 14% of From Software and investing $1 billion with a B into Epic Games. The company also vehemently opposed the Activision Blizzard deal, which is now being attempted to be blocked by the FTC. Despite PlayStation 5 selling nearly 2 times more than Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft's superior subscription base prompted Sony to revamp their PS Plus service back in June with a larger library of titles for gamers to enjoy. My question to you, Zach, is are you starting to change your view on Jim Ryan just slightly? Because yes, the recent news of the sales and now the shortage is pretty much over.
Yeah.
And what he's able, granted, I went on my rant at the end of the year about, them acting like children for, with the Microsoft deal. That aside, the acquisitions, like making smart business decisions and changing PS Plus. Like, I know it hasn't taken off yet, like how Game Pass has, but Game Pass needed to get going for a little bit before it became what it eventually is now. Do you think he is starting to change a new leaf in your eye, or is he still like the slumlord of Sony that, will never hold a candle to shoe?
Well, no one can hold a candle to shoe, baby. You know what I mean? Like, Jim Ryan is a shrewd businessman. I look at him much akin to like a Jeff Bezos, where he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like he's making the calls and all that, and we're seeing fruit of that. Like the PlayStation Plus is making more money with less people subscribed than it was before. The shortage is over. They're selling a lot. And a lot of the games that are releasing right now are none of the stuff that he had, other than maybe Horizon Forbidden West, he might have had something to do with before he took over. But I wouldn't necessarily say that he's on the same, like, in my mind, of Sean Layden, because Sean Layden was more of like of the people, like he was a businessman through and through, but like he didn't come off as that. And I think that's a big thing for Jim Ryan, is like he comes off as a businessman. That is like 100% what he is. And that's how he ran Gorilla as well. Like he was, very business oriented and everything. Yeah. So, good on him. I'm glad that, Sony continues to do well. I just don't want to see Sony slip back into PlayStation 3 early days where they thought they were too big for the britches, and then nobody wanted anything from them and everybody went to Xbox because Phil Spencer, man, I would go and have a burger with him. I would go, I would hang out with Phil Spencer every day, because like he just seems like a genuine person, and and that's what right now that I haven't got from Jim Ryan. I might be wrong. He might be the greatest dude in the whole world, but I don't know that, because
he doesn't portray that.
What he did to my PS Vita.
No, he made the right call.
You shut your dirty mouth. You shut
your
dirty mouth. Cut
the dead weight.
Speaking of dead weight,
hold on.
We're looking for a new co-host. Now let's move on. Yes. We are keeping it family friendly. Always. PS6 would be the likely platform for a big budget studio game that started production today.
So, Jason Schreier has declared that if a big budget game studio were to launch the development of an up-to-date project today, it would probably arrive for the next gaming console generation, PlayStation 6. This is largely due to current trends in video game production cycles, which have been progressing over time. Consequently, any major game starting creation this early 2023 will not hit shelves until after PS6's release. Not really I just threw this in here because it's crazy to think how big development has gotten to the fact of 2023 entering into the 4th year of the PlayStation Xbox Series X and S life cycle, that if a game started, like if developers sit down and like, all right, what do we want to work on? Like Naughty Dog,
Yeah.
I don't know what new IP they're working on. Um, Obviously, Cory Barlog's team at Santa Monica is, granted, yes, as we've discussed over the last year and a half, Sony is pumping money into their current studios to hire more people, create more development teams to push
Yeah.
out more games. So there's probably caveats with each of the what we're thinking of.
Mhm.
We're just like, so Ragnarok just came out, so whatever new they're working on probably could still hit PS5 because we don't know what Santa Monica's other team has been working
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
and how long. But the current God of War Ragnarok team is probably, safe to say that it will probably be a PS6 title. But thinking
Yeah.
about it, like it's also another thing to where it's like, all right, because I brought this up to our good friend David Samuel, because he's like, because he sent me an article about like they're now just tapping into or no, like something about PS6, and he was like, is it already that time? And I'm like, well, technically they've been on an 8-year trend, or 7-8 year trend. So from PS4 to PS5 was 7 years. So technically, if we're looking at it 2020 to 2027, like we're halfway through the current console life cycle. And it's crazy to think that we're already thinking about the next generation of hardware
Yeah.
when literally the same month Jim Ryan comes out and it's like, the shortage is over, guys. You can now get PS5s
Yeah.
almost anywhere. And it's like, but the PS6 is also going to be a thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's crazy. But yeah, that's how we go with tech and how immersive games are, especially with first party games from Sony, like just Horizon Forbidden West and Ragnarok, like the detail that went into those games, like how big the worlds are. Development is getting expensive, which means they're going to need more
Mhm.
time. They can't just pump it out like they used to. And again, it's just crazy to think that we're already thinking about the next generation.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's crazy. Like, I think because of the pandemic and everything, I think we will get a longer console cycle this time. I don't think it will be 7 years. I think it might be pushing 8, 9 years on
Okay.
this one. But yeah, the PS6 is already in development. Like, Trey was like, they need to slow down. They don't need a PlayStation 6. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, and he also put, but there's a reason PlayStation is one of the best selling consoles of all time. Let it marinate. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like that cycle was really long. That was a really
Oh
long
yeah.
cycle, and then you know it still has been selling games. Up until like the last few years, like FIFA was still putting out games
Oh
on
yeah.
the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
You know,
Crazy.
but the PlayStation 6 is in development. There's
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind that they're already looking at tech. How can they push this? How can they, do better than what the PlayStation 5 is amazing, but
Yeah.
that's tech from 4 years ago.
Yep.
Actually,
Yep.
5 years ago, because like they had like everything set up,
Yeah.
designed, and everything, and then they start production. But
Yep.
yeah, like this is old tech, and what are they doing now? Like, look at the new GPU that Nvidia's put out, the 490. That
Yeah.
thing is absolutely insane. What can like PCs are constantly getting upgraded. Consoles, like that's why they age over time, is like they're not getting that upgrade consistently and everything. And yeah, it's kind of crazy.
One last question before we move on to for you, because I posed this the second year into PlayStation's life cycle, because PlayStation 5 came out in the midst of COVID,
Yep.
which shortages aside, it was really hard to find one or get out and find one anyway.
Yeah.
Um, I think I posed this question. I forget what you said, but now that the shortage is over, now that
Mhm.
we're seeing all this, we're a few years removed from that the launch of the PS5. Do you think? Because I think you said that they don't do one. I could be wrong, but do you think we see a mid console refresh? Not, I don't think it'll be this year, because now with the shortage over, I don't think they just turn around and be like, all right, here's a new version of the PS5. I think it'll be 2024 before we see that happen. But do you think we still see a mid console refresh this hardware generation, or do you think now that they've gotten past the shortages, they just ramp up PS5s as many as they can?
Like to me, if I was, running this, I would just run with what we got, baby. Like this, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type deal.
Yeah.
You know, I would figure out how to make it cheaper to build. But I would just, keep doing that, and I would put
Yeah.
all focus on development for the next console. Let's not
Yeah.
worry about a Slim. Let's not worry about any of that. Let's just sell what we got, and then just be done with it. Like let's not mess around. Let's get the money while we getting and
Right.
plan for the next one. And like most of the times when they do a refresh in the middle of it, like they sell okay. Like
Yeah.
they hike up the price again.
Or like with the Pro, like it was full circle because the PlayStation 4 came out at 400, then
Mhm.
lowered it, and then when the Pro came out, it was the exact same price as when it first launched.
Yeah.
So,
And then you had like the Slim because they stopped making the original,
right.
PlayStation and all of that. So it's it's one of those.
Now,
One of
one
those
curveball
things.
I want to throw in here. Do you
Mhm.
think it's more likely that because obviously storage is an issue, and I know
Yeah.
those internal storages are massively
Mhm.
overpriced.
Yeah.
Do you think they at least put out same model PS5 but with a bigger hard drive? Do you think
Uh,
that's more of a feasible idea?
I think that's more of a feasible idea than anything.
Okay.
Is just bigger storage and everything.
Yeah.
Before we jump into PlayStation Quickies, make sure to hit that like button, share it with somebody, and go support us over on patreon.com/nerdcave. Get awesome, cool content, and you help us create shows like this and pay our editor. He needs to be paid
Exactly.
for editing. And we'll have a new host next week, Trey Price.
Wait, what?
He said he volunteered.
Okay. That's fair. Hey, you know what? Hey Trey, as long as you can get the news stories done, you can have it, bro.
You're like, get the news story and deal with Zach.
Exactly. He can do one of those two things. I'll let you figure out which one.
Let's jump into these PlayStation Quickies.
So, new patent shows Sony diving deeper into cloud gaming. A new leak suggests Discord voice chat could be coming to PS5 soon. PlayStation State of Play 2023 rumors have started ahead of new PS5 games reveal. Oculus founder Palmer Luckey was, quote, blown away when he tried PSVR 2. Gran Turismo 7 coming to PSVR 2 at launch through a free upgrade. Beat Saber in development for PSVR 2. Wording is weird because in development, why wouldn't it be just a port? I wonder if it's going to be something different. The Last Guardian studio strongly hints it will reveal its new game this year. Silent Hill 2 remake studio admits it's feeling, quote, high pressure to deliver on the game. Power Wash Simulator will come to PS5 and PS4 on January 30th. Final Fantasy 16 producer says PC users should, quote, buy a PS5, insinuating the PC version won't launch the same day. Rumor Horizon Zero Dawn remaster for the PlayStation 5 is not being worked on by Guerrilla Games. Bungie reveals it's working on a, quote, number of unannounced projects with Sony. Destiny 2's Guardian Games event reportedly set for April launch. HBO's The Last of Us said to have cost over $100 million to produce the first season. There are no plans for The Last of Us show to go beyond the games. However, the series will explore life before the outbreak. Sony's PlayStation Productions has over 10 projects in development spanning both film and TV. Naughty Dog looks ahead at the, quote, big year to come as The Last of Us franchise tops 37 million copies sold. Neil Druckmann says, quote, I think there's more story to tell when considering a possible Last of Us Part 3. And lastly, new Naughty Dog PS5 games will be announced closer to release, according to Neil Druckmann.
Man, there's a lot of good PlayStation goodies up in there.
It is.
Power Wash Simulator. If you haven't played it, definitely go check that out. I think we get a Beat Saber 2. I think that's what that's talking about there. And Last Guardian Studio. You might reveal your game, but it might take you 10 years to bring it out.
It'll come out in the PlayStation 7.
Yeah, exactly. The PlayStation 7. One thing that was interesting, like they're touting this $100 million, produce it and everything.
Yeah.
And then I just look over at, Rings of Power, where they're just like, how much, like, I don't want to quote it wrong, but it is.
Yeah.
I want to starts with a B. I think it starts with a B.
Oh, I think it was $1 billion.
Yeah, it was $1 billion. Yeah. Rings of Power was $1 billion for their first season.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But also they have Amazon money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know HBO ain't no slouch, but they're not Amazon.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Last of Us is going to be. You know, the TV show and everything. And I haven't played Last of Us 2. So, you know, I know Dan says all the time that he doesn't see how there could be a story after Last of Us 2, but, you know, only time will tell. And, you know, as time goes on, Derek only gets quicker, guys. He only gets quicker. That's why we have a whole segment just for the quick hit. So let's jump into it.
So Dragon's Dogma 2 is progressing well, and as well as Capcom hoping for a new update to give soon. Resident Evil 4 Remake will not remove the island location. System Shock Remake release window confirmed for March 2023. Starfield support page reconfirms it will release in the first half of this year. Payday 3 logo revealed and reconfirms a 2023 release window. Starting January 26th, Hitman 3 will be known as Hitman World of Assassination, and Hitman 1 and 2 will be free for existing Hitman 3 owners. Persona publisher teases, quote, several unannounced games for 2023. ZeniMax QA developers unionize, forming the largest video game industry-based union in North America. Cult of the Lamb is getting a major content update in 2023. Invincible skins are available now in Fall Guys. Assassin's Creed Netflix series loses Die Hard writer. Rumor Silent Hill franchise has 3 unannounced games in development. Atomic Heart multiplayer add-ons are not planned at this stage, but the DLC will expand open world regions. A determined Microsoft might look to close its acquisition of Activision Blizzard without the FTC. Dead by Daylight set to lose rights to Texas Chainsaw's Leatherface. The Medium and Observer sequels have not been ruled out by Bloober Team. AAA Studio Maverick Games, founded by former Playground Games, AAA Studio Maverick Games has been founded by former Playground Games devs. Return to Monkey Island Physical Edition coming via Limited Run Games. Spyro the Dragon return, possibly teased by Toys for Bob. Dead Space Remake developer confirms New Game Plus mode. Simon Pegg will voice Phineas Nigellus Black, will also see appearances from Nearly Headless Nick, Professor Onai, and more in Hogwarts Legacy. And lastly, TMNT Shredder's Revenge is on mobile, but as a Netflix exclusive.
Netflix has got some interesting stuff because they also have Immortality on there.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
which actually got nominated for several Game of the Year or Game Awards at the Game Awards.
Best performance. Got nominated for several DICE Awards, which DICE Awards will be February 23rd. I want to say, if you want to check that out, which will be a Thursday. We probably won't watch it because we never do dice, but we ain't into that gambling. We only bet things that Zach can win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You only bet things that Zach can win. But guys, we've got one last segment. We got one last segment as I set this up,
which is a new thing. You know, it's one of the 2 things we're going to talk about today. Because, you know, we got the name ranking and then another little segment that I came up with that I threw at Zach's way. We decided to do because, you know, we don't do videos that often. And unless it's like a big thing or like we're watching a streaming event. But we decided to do something in this. And I actually came up with the idea for the segment called The Coolest Thing I Saw This Week, where, because I'm subscribed to Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation's YouTube channels. And I watch all the videos. Like, I usually watch them over the weekend, but I figured since we're starting back the show, I need to watch it, you know, as they release by the day. But I'm gonna go through each week and pick out a video. It could be AAA, could be indie, could be something, you know, dumb, could be something cool, you know. It doesn't matter. If it sticks out to me and I think you guys will like it, we're gonna throw a video up there at the end of the show and have you watch it just to pique your interest to see if it's a game coming out, to see if you want to at least give it a shot.
So this is the coolest thing that you've seen this week. All right, let's check it out. This is called Black Fire Wall.
Backfire Wall.
That one too.
In a land inside a smartphone, a first-person adventure begins. Follow a story about the update and rogue operating system who wants to...
Cut. The game is launching in 3 weeks. We don't have time for a trailer. We need to check if everything's in place. Let's sum it up, shall we? Clever puzzles? What's a good adventure game without puzzles, right? Check. Cheat codes to manipulate the environment? Just remember not to delete the data copy. It's already running out.
You literally just make it appear?
Check. A variety of app characters?
Oh, sorry.
You know it's the processor's toilets, right?
Look at them all working for me and the system.
For me.
I guess. Check. Numerous collectibles.
Okay,
Better
I'm
catch
liking it.
them all. Can we use that?
Catch them all.
Unproductive and useless humor. Oh wow, where are my manners? That's a check. You wishlisting the game? Well, did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Back firewall. I like him. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It gives me like Stanley Parable
I was just gonna
type
say that.
Portal, like kind of put together kind of vibes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can dig.
Yeah.
I think, Seasons After Fall is like more my style, but this is definitely cool. Are you gonna get it?
Oh, I'll probably give it a shot. Comes out January 30th. It'll be hot and heavy and maybe depending on. I got to see those reviews first.
Yeah.
Forspoken, but if that don't pan out, I'll give this my money.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see, guys, and let us know what you think. Brandon says too long of an explanation.
For what? My explanation of the segment or back firewall?
I think a back firewall.
Okay.
I don't know.
Knowing Brandon, he was throwing shade at me, but
Possibly. Now, Derek, I want to close this episode by talking about what did you play this week? I'm throwing this segment out right now. What did you play this week? Did you play anything?
No, I didn't. I've been like I was telling them while you were off gallivanting, off to doing whatever. I was watching. I'm hot and heavy into One Piece. I'm 45. I'm on episode 45, so I've been watching that. I did tell him over about a week and a half ago. I last played Quantum Break. Been getting back into that because I've been having a hankering because it's been sitting there on my downloads for my Xbox and basically like play me because I played it on my brother's profile when we shared an Xbox. Now that I have and then I got my own and I never got around to playing it under my profile. Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. So I played in the last few weeks. I played Quantum Break. I need to go back and play it again, but been hot and heavy watching One Piece.
Gotcha.
What have you been playing, good sir? Oh, before you answer that, I did call it. He says no Derek's explanation, and Nate's like, you should have known he meant Derek. So
I'm just ignoring it. You know what I mean? I've been playing Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap. And I'm digging it, man. Like, of course, it's got the microtransactions and
your favorite thing in the whole wide world
things in there,
next
but
to NFTs.
I don't feel like I have to buy something to win, though. I don't have to pay stuff to like progress, and that's the biggest thing. It's like, okay, I play, a good bit, and then it's like my missions need to refill, and then there's like the whole like mobile game, you can refill it if you pay or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll just wait till you refill in 16 hours. I don't care. Like even doing it without it, it's like it doesn't matter to me. I'm still progressing through the seasons and everything. But yeah, I'm digging it, man. It's a lot of fun. I played some on Tuesday's stream actually, and PvP is actually coming, I think, in the next month or so. So you can like fight your friends and all that kind of stuff. So if you got Derek, I'm just saying you should do it.
Well, I'm going to let people know this too, because I think I told you this. I'm thinking about upgrading my phone. So, because this hunk of junk probably would melt if I try to install a game like that on it.
Dude, it ain't that difficult, but you might slice open your hand.
You know, yeah, I know. But I'm thinking of upgrading my phone soonish, so probably will be able to.
Yeah, you should, man. And then me and you can fight.
Yeah,
on
and
Snap.
then fight in real life because you know.
Yeah.
I gotta knock some sense into you.
Well, there you go, guys. There is the episode this week. We hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, all those good things. And if you want to support us financially, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Find whichever tier that suits you the best and help us by, supporting us there. It helps out a ton. It helps us be able to, do this show each and every week, do our other live show each and every week, pay our editor, be able to get thumbnails made for special things, all those good things. We want your support, guys. And if you're like, man, I don't have that extra cash, I'm about to go buy Hogwarts Legacy. Guys, you can go over to Epic Game Store right now, use our creator code NerdCave at checkout, and it's all free for you. We get a little bit of that sweet dough.
Yep.
All the good stuff. But guys, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. This has been Zach.
And oh gosh, hold on. Where was that name? Monsieur Jean-Jacques de Gateau.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.